Fantastic. Well, everyone, welcome to tonight's session where we are talking about artificial intelligence. And of course, it's something that is for many people can sound very, very exciting, and on the other hand, can be something that can kind of freak people out. And so, Mark is going to be sharing with us kind of his thoughts on how AI is going to be affecting our industry in the next, especially in the near term and the long term, but also how that we can actually take advantage of it and utilize it. If you don't know, Mark is, of course, the founder of Happy Recruiter. And what we do at Happy Recruiter is we uh, match therapists who are looking for great clinics to work with, well, great clinics who are going to have ethics, who have good, solid businesses, who are going to be able to support the therapist so that there's always going to be a win-win situation. Mark is the founder of Electra Health, which is the largest multidisciplinary clinic in all of Canada, and it's right in downtown Vancouver. And everyone here on this call is local, is who we've invited to come to this. And so he really, really knows the not just the industry as a whole, um, but he knows the market. In addition of course, for as many, many decades, okay, Mark, maybe not many, many decades, but
A
many
couple.
years, a couple
Sound like
decades and many
amazing.
years of experience having taught at the universities and in the massage schools. So, Mark, let's turn it over to you.
Sure, here's 90-year-old Mark. Been in this thing for half a century. Welcome, guys. Today, we want to get across the greatness that is coming, but also the downright scary times that may be coming because it's new on the scene. Like AI, it's been around us and we've used it, we've interacted with it for years. Big companies have tried it on us. But actually, the first sort of, I think, awakening for most people would have been the release of ChatGPT last year from OpenAI. And, that came out and it was like, interesting tool. And I played with it and I'm like, wow, I can't believe how fast this can assimilate information. And within a year, it's incredible what more has come just as a result of ChatGPT. So for myself, I use an AI called Pi, and I just like ChatGPT, but it's all voice. I talk to it because I'm also blind. I only have 1% of my vision, so I use Pi, and it's so handy now in my life. I use it every single day, at least 5, 6, 7 questions I'm asking it. And it's personal questions, it's business questions, it's just anything that comes to my mind that I would use it. What I used to do was search on Google. Google is a very ineffective way to search now that these AIs and these personal assistants are out there. And that's actually number three of what I'm going to look at. But the changing landscape is what we just need to be aware of. Because the one thing we can guarantee, there's always change. That is the one thing we know in life. And it really has seemed in the last few years that we can have massive change. I mean, quite frankly, we can be locked up. Who would have ever thought that change was around, right? But it's amazing how it will be coming more and more. But it's important for us as practitioners and clinic owners to be flexible, to be open, to see it as an opportunity, understand the threat. There's many a threat here, but I like to see it as the opportunity because when harnessed, it really is a tool. It's a tool for everyone. When ignored, and these are early days, when ignored, watch out. It's at your peril what's going to happen to you as a therapist, and as I say, as a clinic owner or managing a group of therapists. It's your job to bring this to their attention because, Alex is going to show us a couple really cool things here about how incredible it can be for us as therapists. So I'd like to go to Alex to go over some of these tools right now because let's see them in real action and then we can have a good open conversation. I can talk to you about what I see coming up because, yeah, there's going to be some interesting times. So Alex, introduce us to them.
Hey, fantastic, Mark. Thanks so much. So, a lot of us has used ChatGPT, which is good for content creation. But one of the really, really cool things that we've got going on with it, and we'll go over several actually modalities of how open AI is going to work. Because I think one of the things that many, many people think about when we think about AI, and particularly in our industry, is well, I'm not super concerned because I don't think there's going to be necessarily robots that are going to take my job, right? And so it's AI is in so many things, like just like Mark said, it's in our personal assistants, and it's a. I remember when not Siri, Alexa first came out, and you could ask it the weather, and at that point, that's pretty much all it could do. I was like, why would someone buy $100 device just to ask it the weather? And the truth is, it grew into so much more. So we're going to demo a few different things and show you exactly how we can use them in our industry. So we've got some text-based stuff, we've got some video-based stuff, and we also have like telephone-based stuff, which is super, super awesome to see what's possible out there. So the first thing I wanted to start with is something really, really brand new, which at first we may not be sure, like, well, how exactly is this relevant to our industry? But let me start off with one of OpenAI's newest breakthroughs, which is what we call generative video. So I'm gonna share the sound. There actually isn't sound on this, so I won't worry about that. I'm gonna share this window. And what we can see here, I mean, this is an example of people walking in Japan. Looks like it's Tokyo. It's snowing. There's a shops. They're passing someone by. But what's interesting about this is it actually looks like a drone is like following some people with a camera. This is completely generated with AI. And the fact they just use this, if you can see me highlight it here, they have a prompt which is uh, create a beautiful snowy Tokyo city is bustling. The camera through moves through the bustling city street, following several people enjoying the beautiful snowy weather and shopping. So pretty amazing that this is what it can do. Now, again, it's only 17 seconds. It's like, well, that's nice. What does that have to do with with me? Well, let's look at a couple other things. This one, another completely generated one, is of a SUV, and it looks like it's just driving down a mountain street. Well, these are beautiful, but here's the cool thing. You or I, if we needed a video, probably not of walking through Tokyo, but a video of our clinic or of a procedure of something like that, if we wanted to create a training to show people how to do something, how to do a procedure or something for your marketing, these are the tools that all of us can use. Now, I'm curious, is anyone here a professional video editor? Probably not, because this is a call for therapists. I'm not a professional video editor either. But what's cool is that with these tools, we can do something like that. So I want to share something else that we've goofed around with. In fact, Mark and I were talking earlier, and I will share the sound on this one. So this is another platform called Hey Gen. And as you can see here, there's this video, and it's of me. So let me play this for you. I'm gonna make it full screen. Whoops. What I've done is created an AI version of me. It took a 30-second recording and about 10 minutes of processing. It's not perfect, but it's close. This isn't going to replace big TV stars or movie stars, but AI will replace entry-level positions. I don't know how to edit video, but I could do this without a production team or editor. This is a peril for some jobs, but exciting for what you and I can do at lower cost for our businesses. So again, that was just a quick 30-second clip of me that I recorded a little bit earlier wearing the same thing I'm wearing right now. And it sounded kind of flat. You know, I was playing it for my girlfriend earlier, and she kind of knew like that wasn't me. That doesn't sound exactly like you. But you know what? It's pretty darn close. And here's the kicker. I had to record like a 30-second video of that. I maybe spent 10 minutes typing out the words I wanted it to do, and then it took 10 minutes to create the video. So in 20 minutes, with a subscription of something that was like $69 a month, I could create a video. Well, what does that have to do with us? Well, Alex, I don't know if we're gonna make a lot of marketing videos. Well, maybe you're not. But this is what Mark's gonna talk about a little later, is if we don't need a video editor and we didn't need a production team to do this, number one, that's great for us when we need stuff like this because we have these amazing tools and they're just going to get better. Let me give you an example. I've got a friend who was showing off his AI version of himself about a year and a half ago. And he had told me he spent about $3,500 to make this short video that was about maybe 5 minutes. That same thing can be done for $69 a month, every month. He can make a new video every month for that. So with just a couple of like a couple more years of advancement, the cost of that can go down. However, let's also think about this. What's going to happen to all those entry-level video editors or producers? We may not need them as much. And so Mark's going to talk about some of the consequences of what may be happening with that. So again, there's great things, and there's some things that it may affect us in some different ways. But let's go ahead and look at something else here. Let me oh, did I hide the window? There we go. So another thing that we'll want to look at is with sorry folks here. We're going to want to look at ChatGPT. Now, with ChatGPT, again, it can be a lot of fun utilizing it, but it's become really powerful. So a little bit earlier today, Mark and I were talking, and we were like saying, well, how can we use ChatGPT? How can a therapist really use it? And so ChatGPT, if you could think about it, it's an AI assistant that you can ask a lot of questions. And like Mark said about a search engine, this is even better than a search engine, because you can ask specific things and it can create stuff. So I'm going to start off with a new box. Now, again, I know some of you guys have used ChatGPT before. I'm using there's a free version. There's also a version called Pro that's like 20 US per month. That's the version I'm using here because I'm going to show you how it can actually make us some pictures. But the first thing it can do is amazing. If you're, let's say, treating someone and they've got sciatica, and you needed to come up with a treatment plan. Now, of course, we're experts, we're therapists, but even for ourselves, sometimes it takes a little time to create a plan. So I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. So I'm going to say, act as if you are an expert in physiotherapy. Please create a treatment plan for 2 weeks of home exercises for sciatica. I don't even know if I spelled it right, but I think ChatGPT will be able to figure it out. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to tell me a bunch of stuff. Designing a home exercise plan for managing sciatica involves gentle stretching. It's going to give me a whole bunch of details. Oh, here we go. So week 1, on days 1, 3, and 5, there's a pelvic tilt. Need a chest stretch, piriformis stretch. Days 2, 4, and 6, it's giving some different exercises. Spinal stretch, seated spinal twist. Day 7, rest, and then something for week number 2. Now, pretty amazing. You or we as the experts can look at this and say, yeah, this is a good start. I would say that this can probably save you know, 40 to 50% of the basic time. And then for each of the patients, you can look through and say, all right, well, I want to change this around. We actually need to do this differently. We need to switch up these days. But that literally took us what, 60 seconds to create this thing? So using the tools here are amazing because they can save us time. Now, I don't know that you know,
Hey, Alex,
yeah, go ahead.
quick question. Oh, sorry, a quick statement here. Yeah, saving us time and just making a standard that that's what patients are going to expect. And that's an important part that you brought up here with these three examples that now it seems very new and fresh, maybe like the internet, maybe like websites for your clinic, or even personal websites for each individual practitioner. Any of these things that we thought were like, maybe do I need it? Do I not? Well, it's obvious now, 20 years later, you have to have a website, you have to have online scheduling. So, what these allow you to do is be able to act quickly in a standard that everybody will be acting on. And so, if you put that with your clinic logo, boom, copy it in there, give it to the person, that is a very simple and effective marketing slash home care tool that if you're not doing that, your competition is. And it might not be this week, but I assure you it's going to be soon. So these are great examples of how you can make a simple change and turn it into an extremely effective tool for your patients and place yourself ahead of the majority of therapists.
That's right. And with the democratization of tools like this, like you said, it's going to become expected because what's happening here is we're able to give even more value, which is going to be so important in the next topics that you're going to bring up here, Mark, which is going to be, what's going to happen um in the market. But I want to go back to ChatGPT real quick and show another tool that we've got here, and then something really, really cool that that we're going to share is available out there. So we've got the plan. Now, what if I wanted to add some graphics? Now, again, 1 year ago, this wasn't possible, or you had to know a really, really good amount of coding and prompting to be able to do this. But if I say this, great. I always like to be nice to the chat bot. Great. Can you please generate an image to go alongside this plan to help my client do the exercises? Let's see what it says. So this is all impromptu. So again, we have no idea what it's going to come up with. Sometimes AI comes up with stuff that's fantastic. Sometimes it comes up with stuff that's a little bit off. By the way, right now, this particular model of AI called DALL-E, which is built into ChatGPT, is not great at making text on the pictures. But that's getting better and better. All right, let's see what we've got here. Well, look at that. It's actually it's actually not terrible. The words, some of them, they're poetic till, that's not right, but need a chest stretch, tet, spinal twist. It's got some typos. Pretty amazing, though. Pretty amazing it could generate this. And, you know, what we used to have to do is find a diagram or hire someone or find something maybe with stock photos. In fact, right now you can go to a place like Adobe Stock, and I typed in sciatica, and you have all of these things in here, all these photos. But what's interesting about this is you can see here on the left side, generative AI only. A lot of these illustrations are being generated using AI and put up on the stock photo sites. So they're doing it too. You might find something that you really need, or if it's not, you can try to create it on your own. And again, it's not going to be perfect yet, but if we wait a year, I have a joke about AI. If we just wait 3 weeks, it's probably going to be available. But that's something really amazing is we're able to make graphics along with this. So again, thinking about the level of value that we're giving to our clients is super important. Now, there's one more demo I want to give today, and actually, it's not going to be on screen. This is going to be affecting.
Hey, you know what? Let's hold this until I do one more thing, and
Okay,
then we'll
okay.
have some more time. Because I know I
Well,
really like
cool.
this. Yeah, this next one is pretty cool, and it's in its infancy, but you'll be blown away. Uh, as well, two things. If you're a clinic owner, pretty cool. What type of support this is going to give. If you're a practitioner, I would be insisting this to be in your clinic because of the value it does produce over a 24-hour period. But I would like to sort of introduce this idea. And my first idea with AI is, and you've heard this on the news, and we don't know the timeline, but I think the most conservative timeline is about 8 years right now, that 40% of jobs are going to be evaporated. Now, that's pretty unbelievable number. Now, just so you don't fall over and start crying, there will be a lot of jobs created, of course. A new technology is a new opportunity. As human beings, we're amazing at figuring out how to use tools. But the first thing to really understand is 40% will evaporate. And now these jobs aren't the typical jobs you might think. These are going to be the jobs of white collar workers, people that are in accounting firms, middle managers in accounting firms, people in legal firms that update all this information on computers. AI does it way faster. It understands everything. It assimilates billions of pieces of information far better than a worker. And that's what's going to happen. So understand that the impact is going to be profound, but also understand where are you located. So I just had a conversation last week with a therapist about this exact topic. And they're like, I don't think it's ever going to impact me. I'm in a small town. Life is good here. I'm like, that's cool. Don't know. Again, no one knows tomorrow. But one thing I know is, how did a closure of a mill affect small towns in British Columbia? If your mill closed in your small town, your town was decimated. Done. Everybody, like 500 people lose their jobs. It's over. Now, understand that the correlation isn't exact, but it is similar. So if you are going after, let's say examples, maybe you're in downtown Vancouver and my clinic's in downtown Vancouver, so it's personal to me. Maybe you're going after lawyers and accountants. You're going after Hollywood North, like Alex referred to, video producers, content creators. Imagine if that was the market. You've built your practice around it. That is going to change dramatically. So to be aware of the volume of change coming your way, that's what this is about. So not to scare you to your core, but to be aware that, hey man, if I'm relying 90% on a group of people that, whoa, I see potentially not all having jobs in the future, that has a massive impact on your practice. When they don't work, they don't have an extended healthcare plan. It's that simple. Less people have extended health, it becomes extremely competitive. So, example, downtown Vancouver, there's a multidisciplinary clinic or a single therapy clinic on every block. There's many on every block. There's like 2 in my building, 3 across the street in the next building. Like, it is quite something how popular it's been to provide therapy. I can see in the crystal ball, it won't be long when these clinics are just going to start to pack it in. Because as soon as you see an attrition rate that impacts everybody in a marketplace, here's an interesting quote, and I can't remember. I think it's Warren Buffett. Okay, it goes something like this: "You never know who's swimming naked till the tide goes out." And that's what's happening. The tide will be going out on certain jobs. And you're going to find that certain clinic owners, and again, practitioners rely on the clinic owners to run a business, right? So you're in a partnership with these people. That's why I love Happy Recruiter, and what we're creating here is we're making successful partnerships sustainable in case there are massive changes, and this is one of them. So the change is coming. You have to see it for what it is, because you're going to have less people now going after all these clinics, and they're going to go, oh my God, I don't have enough patients coming in. Well, I think we can appreciate if you don't have enough patients coming in, business will suffer. And for those who sustain that trajectory, the business closes. I know we have one clinic owner here. I'm not sure about the other people, but clinics run on extremely tight margins. They look beautiful. There's no doubt. They look great. There's a lot of appointments going on there. I've no doubt. I've owned one for 25 years. But I assure you, they run on extremely tight margins. So a fluctuation of 10% sustained, catastrophic. Fluctuation of 20% won't take long for doors to close. Now, how that affects the therapist, suddenly therapists are going, oh my God, I got to find a place to work. No longer is it this, I'll work anywhere because there's hundreds of clinics that need me. Now, you're going to be really panicking because there's less clinics to take on these therapists. And that I see in about a 3 to 5 year window. I certainly see it in downtown Vancouver. I'm preparing for it. I've already diversified. This is what I'm into. I'm into figuring what the future looks like. So I diversify into different therapies, into cash therapies, into specific niches, specializations. But for you, understand what it means to you. Like really, really get a hold of, boy, if these people lost their jobs, can they really afford to come see you? So the volume is going to go down. And another big change in the marketplace, and I might as well hit you with another one while we're on the topic of this, is extended healthcare plans coverages are changing. I know for ours, we use Chamber of Commerce. They added athletic therapy and kinesiology. So now massage therapy, $500 for that discipline, now shares that with kinesiology. Same thing with physiotherapy. Now, as a therapist, think about what that means. If they see both of those professionals, you're cut in half. That's just one example. For those massage therapists in British Columbia, you'll see on the Facebook post how the RMTBC extended healthcare plan rates went through the roof. And we'll talk about this a bit later, but there's no secret why. And so how did the extended healthcare plan respond? They cut massage therapy right down. And that's what will happen. They cut massage therapy down, or they crank up the copay. Either way, it still impacts the ability of a patient to access what we have. So now what we have to do is there's going to be a drive to find more patients, but they'll have less coverage. That's a huge problem. Like huge. Like, again, just think about all the clinics, all the therapists. There's millions. I mean, I'm just talking, in British Columbia, there's millions and millions and millions of dollars that these extended healthcare plans cover. that we rely on. So a cut affects us all. A huge cut, it's going to create a massive change in our marketplace. So, from a therapist perspective, make sure that where you're working, if it's by yourself and you're working at home or you have your own clinic in a building, make sure you are sustainable. So diversify what you're doing. If you're working in a clinic, make sure they're paying attention. Make sure they're incorporating AI and other automations into their practice. And this leads me into this next piece of automations and how cool they can be, which helps both patient, therapist, and a clinic owner. So, Alex, let's jump into it.
Are you ready for it? This is going to
Do
be
it.
fun. All right, so I'm making a phone call right now.
Hi, it's Sam from Daydream Massage. How can I help you today?
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry. I called earlier and I actually got disconnected. I was interested in a massage.
Got it. What type of massage are you looking for?
Well, what kinds do you have?
We offer a variety of massages like Swedish, deep tissue, hot stone, and aromatherapy. What type are you interested in?
Do you happen to have Thai massage?
Yes, we do offer Thai massage. Would you like to book an appointment for a Thai massage?
Well, can I confirm, like, when I used to live in Thailand, they would actually use their feet and kind of walk on your back. Can you do that?
Absolutely. We have masseuses trained in traditional Thai massage techniques. When would you like to schedule your appointment?
Well, how much are the sessions?
Our prices vary depending on the type of massage and session length. Would you like me to go over the pricing details with you?
Just with the Thai massage, please.
For a traditional Thai massage, our prices start at price. Would you like to proceed with booking an appointment?
I'm sorry, can you tell me how much it is for a 1 hour Thai massage?
No problem at all. A 1 hour Thai massage session is priced. Would you like to schedule that for you?
When do you have available? When do you have available?
Second.
Sorry, I lost you there. When's the next availability?
No worries. We have availability for a 1 hour Thai massage tomorrow at time or the day after at time. Which works best for you?
I'll have to get back to you and let you know. Thanks so much. Okay, so this is a demo, a demo bot.
Yeah, that's a beta version.
Yeah, but pretty amazing. I wasn't intentionally trying to throw it off. But if you notice, I asked a couple of questions because I was generally like, because I did used to live in Thailand and that's what they used to do. And I wasn't sure, is it going to be authentic? It's going to be like that. It's going to be, how is it going to be? And it's pretty amazing how this particular receptionist, this AI receptionist, was able to give me the information I needed. Now, this is what I think, and this is my personal view. Um, when you call like the bank or whatever and you get the menu and it asks you to do all these things and the technology's not that great, it's very, very annoying. But with this, and if you know it's an AI, it's not bad. In fact, I was totally fine interacting with the AI, and if it can get me the information that I need and also answer any of the detailed questions that I might be able to have, and that's fine. And what the great thing is, these AIs can be trained just like a person. If you get a receptionist and you need to tell them that Emma works from 3 to 6 on Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Friday, you have to teach them that. Well, you can teach the AI that as well. So that if someone did call and ask, well, I'm looking for an appointment with Emma, it can say, well, Emma works on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 6 and then every other Friday. It's pretty amazing. Now, here's the other great thing about this is I don't know about you guys, but I can't work 24 hours. This thing can. So if there's someone who is inquiring at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't know that they would call, but I know people text, and they have text versions of this as well that can reply via SMS text message 24 hours a day. So I'm going to turn it back over to Mark, because Mark, what are the implications of this as a clinic owner?
But yeah, therapist or clinic owner, you can see that you now have an amazing tool. That thing is going to be ready for prime time in probably 6 months. It's going to go through thousands and thousands more calls, and then it's ready to be unleashed. And then, so do you need? So I have a large clinic. We used to have two receptionists at the front desk on the main level. After COVID, because of COVID, we couldn't have two. And what happened was I changed. I got rid of one. We got direct billing. We got the Jane app reconciliation where everything runs through Jane. And we realized that a lot of what we were doing at the front desk was quote unquote busy work that machines are better at. So Jane is better at running that through the system. They have all the credit cards stored. It's a simple button. It's done. We used to pay a lot of money to reconcile all our accounts. It's done now. So that's just automation. But now you can see how AI, it makes no sense. Even if you're a small clinic, it makes no sense soon to have a receptionist answering the phone like that. Soon, I'm saying. Now, yeah, it certainly still makes sense, but soon, no need. And so I'm in the process of introducing the idea to our team and saying, listen, the front desk staff are going to be concierges. They're not going to be the old style, sit behind the desk. Can I make you an appointment? Can I take your money? No, like we're out of the money game. That ended 4 years ago with the change to Jane and the direct billing. Now we're going to be totally out of it. Like that person is going to be out in the waiting room helping people, just like a hotel. What can I do to make your life better? So you can see how the experience of that patient is going to increase that much more because they see that the tool is going to work for them. The patient's going to say, hey, no worry, man. I'll just call the AI. They'll set me up. No longer they'll have to go and look at a computer screen. Dramatic. I mean, we've only brought up a couple things, but it absolutely changes how our businesses operate and how therapists within that business will operate. And it's happening like that. And that's such a great example. Again, just in a beta test, and that's not in BC. That wasn't created here because you can see how it says masseuses and different things. But boy, it's going to be trained, ready to go, and unleashed. And then I go back to this: what are you doing as a practitioner in your practice? If you don't have these tools, and I do, it's going to be hard to compete. When the volume of workers in your area goes down, I'm competing at a higher level, you're not. Watch out. That's why being aware, being absolutely cognizant of these changes. And if you personally can't put them in place, be with a clinic that can. Because you may think that you're fully booked now forever. Oh, I'm fully booked. No, everyone books. They book 6 weeks out. I assure you they do till they don't. I don't want you to be in the don't category. Because as they say, when the tide goes out, you're swimming naked and everybody sees that. So this is such a good example. Alex, what else we got there?
So these are the main examples that we have here, of how do we utilize these different tools in our practices. And every single therapist can use this. But Mark, like you said, if I'm a therapist and I know that there's staff from 9 to 9, front desk,
Yeah.
staff from 9 to 9, meaning there's a receptionist. If someone calls, they text, they can schedule an appointment. But I know this as a consumer too. When I want something, like, I'm impatient, I want it. So if I want something and I want to schedule an appointment, or I can't get it from one place unless I'm fully committed to that particular therapist or that particular clinic, there's a good chance, especially if I'm in pain, I'm going to go to the next one.
Yep.
If I get, a call back from an AI or some sort of bot, if it's 10 o'clock at night and I want an appointment for the morning, and I don't want to wait till the morning to try to figure it out. I want to get it in order now so I can go in the morning. If I get an appointment set thanks to a bot, a receptionist, that's where my business is going.
Yeah, that's it. And think about whatever it was, how many years ago it was when Uber came out. I remember going, I don't know, I'm not hopping into some dude's car and he's going to drive me somewhere. It just seemed, it didn't make sense. Or Airbnb. What? I'm going to go sleep in somebody's house? Like, no, I'm okay at a hotel. I don't go to hotels anymore. Like, it's such a better experience, Airbnb. I don't take the taxi service anymore. Uber is phenomenal. The technology, the artificial intelligence embedded in just those two companies have absolutely changed my life. And now we look at it as second nature. So that's why I just have to introduce the idea that don't be so critical at the moment of today. Understand that it's all coming, and in a few years, it's on us and it's working better than you thought. And if you're using it, you're reaping the rewards. If you're scared and hesitant and go, oh, it doesn't apply to me, I'm massage, physio, chiro, you are going to be lost, left behind. Might not be in 2 years, probably in 4. Most definitely, I'd say in 4. So understand that these things are so good. The tool is it just gets better and better. Now, actually, Alex, I want to bring up well, sorry, it's unfortunately another downside, but I'm like Mr. Depressing here. But this is reality, and this is what's happening right now in Canada and certainly in BC. So if you're aware, Pacific Blue Cross recently did an audit across the province with certain clinics, and they did this with physiotherapy. And what they did was they said, I want to see what you're doing. Send me all your clinical records, and I'm going to evaluate it. Now, what they did was they used artificial intelligence to scan the hundreds of documents. Pretty cool idea, right? But this is where things went wrong. If they found words like yoga, Pilates, personal training, words like sets, reps, they flagged the file. They didn't pay, or sorry, they asked for the money back for the treatment. And you're like, what? But this actually is happening. This isn't fantasy. This isn't 2 years from now. I know a clinic, they owe $166,000. The insurance company is just like, you owe us some money. Pay us back. And that's happening today. And so here's the issue. And this is very important to understand that you as practitioners, but again, in a clinic, make sure everyone's doing this. What you're writing in those clinical records could create a massive problem during an audit because the audits are being used with AI. So by writing those things in the charts, which is totally normal for a physio to write in, they get flagged. Now the problem lies is they now have to justify that clinical record. I'll just give you a basic business example. A treatment, 140 bucks, probably takes 10 minutes a file to justify it and figure it out. Okay, 10 minutes of $140, it's about $23. Okay, let's imagine you as the therapist, you're making about $100 off the $140. So let's say you pay about 30% rent. Okay, you make $100. You now have to spend your time, which you could be spending treating somebody, you have to spend your time, $23 worth, justifying the clinical record, which seemed totally normal to you 3 months ago. But now it isn't. So now you spend the time, that's a 23% reduction in what you're getting paid. Okay for 1, 2, 3 files. Not so cool for 30 files. Downright catastrophic for 300. So that's not, again, please, this isn't happening in 2 years. This is what therapists are dealing with right now. So words like they want to see medically necessary, they want to see deficiencies, you're solving problems, they want to see that you're progressing. Is there something progressive about your treatment plan, about what you're writing in your clinical records? If not, you may be flagged. And I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying the cost to make yourself right is expensive. So here's a tool being used today, costing a lot of money for therapists and clinic owners, which you need to be aware of. So when you write your clinical records tomorrow, be aware of what you're writing and what may be flagged. So there's I don't think it's that depressing. I think it's actually very enlightening from my perspective. At our clinic, we do about 50,000 treatments in a year. You could imagine how catastrophic that could be for myself and the team. Now, actually, we just went through an ICBC audit and things went very well. So I'm pleased there. But it won't be long till other audits are coming because it's in the right of the insurance company to audit. And by auditing, they're actually going to be changing behaviors. That behavior will save them money. And I just don't want it to impact you negatively over a prolonged period of time. But if you're aware of what you need and how you need to articulate yourself in a clinical record, hopefully you don't come up on one of these automated AI audits. And so there's the second big change I see is that the way they're going to be auditing into the future is going to be very challenging for us to make sure that we're on top of it, to make sure that these records aren't being flagged and then we have to spend time justifying it. That's number 2. Do you want to get into number 3? Should we get into 3 right now?
Well, we're actually getting close on time here. So number 3 might be, we might even make a video about that. I think that would be a great one to put together. But as we wrap up this part of the conversation and do a couple of questions, I wanted to ask you, Mark, is it all going to be gloom and doom, or
No.
can we look at some of the great things that are going to happen as a result of the changes?
Yeah, no, I think amazing things are ahead of us. Absolutely amazing things are ahead of us. Like I mean, just the tools you presented make our lives that much easier. I think another great benefit, it's going to bring us a lot closer. Like people are going to be working together. You are going to develop networks of therapists that you rely on. So, from a human's perspective, I think it's outstanding our future, but you can't ignore the obvious changes. That's what that's why I need to get this into your nervous system. Ignoring the obvious changes, just in that AI audit example, could cost you a lot of time and money. Ignoring the fact that potentially volumes of patients are going to go down or their insurance coverage is going to change can cost you a lot of money. But knowing that these tools are going to create a better patient experience when utilized well is going to strengthen your practice. So we have the opportunity of becoming much stronger. That's the key. We need to become stronger. We need to collaborate. We need to see the opportunity. And that's what Happy Recruiter is about, is we want to educate clinic owners. We want to educate therapists because there will be winners and losers. There always have been. But I think AI is really going to draw the line in the sand with winners and losers. So, yeah, no, it's not all doom and gloom, Alex. There's great things ahead. It's just the awareness is so, it's like so essential right now because it's coming so, just coming so.
Well, one of the things that I think is great about what we're talking about right now, and our outreach to clinic owners and to therapists, is we just don't want anyone to be sidelined by these things, or like you said, just to ignore things, because as Melissa said earlier, like at first, like was really freaked out by it, but just to start using them, to play with them. I think something interesting about this is with as quickly as technology moves, even on like people talking about which company is going to be the leader, no one knows, because there might be a new technology breakthrough from one startup company that I mean, no one heard of OpenAI 3 years ago. No one had any idea who they were. And who knows, maybe there's another one of them coming up next week. And we know the direction that AI is taking us. We don't know which company. So it's like, well, we have to embrace the technologies. We have to play with them, not get too stuck on one or the other, because we honestly don't know if this particular company with the AI receptionist, they might be the leader now. They may not be the leader next month. They might not be the leader now. They might be the leader in a year. But just getting familiar with the tech, utilizing them, understanding how to use them in a way that's going to save our practices money, save our clinics money, and also add more value to our patients. I think that's what I'm hearing from you today.
Yeah, absolutely. It just goes back to basic business. The individual company, whoever adds the most value wins. And as therapists, by adding more and more value, we strengthen our practices. So, yeah, don't be scared. Be optimistic. Understand what this really creates for us. The value proposition here is massive. And we just want to introduce it to you. Just get your feet wet,
Yeah.
right? Because that technology of the answering service, the voice system there, it's here. It's going to roll out. So get into it. It's going to be a great tool for all of us to utilize.
Fantastic. Well, let's switch gears here a little bit. In fact,